Thank you guys for the worship. Lord, we just bless you. Thank you, Lord. You're awesome. You're so awesome. Thank you for speaking to us. And thank you for allowing us to hear, not just hear, but do what your word says, what you're telling us. We just thank you for your Holy Spirit in this place. We just pray that we will not leave here the same. That we will be transformed from being with you, being in your presence. That others will be able to see that transformation. We will be able to see that transformation in ourselves, Lord God. We count it all joy, Lord God, to be in your presence and to know you, to make you known. You're doing this not just for us, but for this world that needs you. So I pray that we take your presence outside of these walls, take them to the world, take it to the world, Lord God. They will see you in us. They will see your love in us, see your joy in us, Lord God. They will be renewed and desire to get to know you in a greater and real way, Lord God. Let us not be moved by the circumstances of this world, Lord God, but let us be moved by your presence, by your word, by your Holy Spirit. We just thank you, Lord. Honor you. Praise you. We press into you, Lord God. Just entering in with our hearts being renewed and changed, and massaged and softened. The works of this world can make us callous throughout the week. We come here to be refreshed, to be renewed, for you to soften our hearts so that we may love those who don't love us and pray for those who want to use us. We thank you and we bless you in Jesus' name. Amen. Praise the Lord. You may take your seats. God is good in this place, Lord. Amen. We are grateful for the presence. I think sometimes here we may take it for granted that we have some great praise and worship and that we're able to enter in, because some places don't have that or don't have that experience, and so kind of a privilege and honor that we have a great praise and worship team that's willing to seek the Lord and be in His presence and really sing into the glory of God. So amen. Thank you guys. Today is a movie theme Sunday. Last month we just left it right there. Last month we talked about Remember the Titans. That's the movie we used. So this month or today we're going to be referencing The Karate Kid. I'm sure all of you have seen that movie maybe several times. I watched it again last night. But yeah, The Karate Kid. Daniel LaRusso, you remember him? He's a mild-mannered New Jersey teenager who has to move from his native state, New Jersey, to Los Angeles, California, because his mother had got a job there. He thought he was going to have a nice house with a pool. Finds out he's in a new home. His new home is a crappy apartment, and the pool has no water in it. He tries to fit in with the California crowd. What he finds is a nice girl from his new high school and some bullies from a karate school named Cobra Kai who want to make his life miserable. Then a Japanese handyman named Mr. Miyagi, I'm not going to try to pronounce his first name, comes to the aid of Daniel. Daniel got into several fights with this Cobra Kai group. Mr. Miyagi decides to teach Daniel karate so he can defend himself, which he does in a roundabout way. Daniel and Mr. Miyagi develop a great friendship, a relationship, and while he's teaching him karate. He signs up for a karate tournament, and Daniel is determined to win in that tournament. I'm not going to spoil it for you who haven't seen it. It came out in 1984, so if you haven't seen it by now, I don't know. But he wins the karate tournament. I'm sorry, somebody didn't see it. I'm sorry. I ruined it for you. But we're going to talk about trust the process. Trust the process. Remember, light on and light off. Yeah. And Daniel didn't always trust the process. He thought Mr. Miyagi was just using him. And sometimes we may feel that way as well. We may feel like, Lord, I don't know what you're doing. This doesn't look like what it's supposed to look like. And so we have to trust the process. Philippians 1:6, it says, being confident in this very thing, that he who has begun a good work in you, he who has begun a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. That's good. That's good to know. Genesis 50:20 says, but as for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good in order to bring about as is this very day, so that many people can be saved or alive. So we're going to look at two things. We're going to look at the life of David, and then we're going to look at Joshua in the walls, breaking down the walls of Jericho, and we're going to end with a couple of scriptures. But the whole thing is trust the process. How many of you are trusting the process right now? Are you trusting the process? The process doesn't always look nice, but we must trust the process. David was called by God to be king. And that calling happened in 1 Samuel 16, around verses 7 through 13, when Samuel goes before David's father, Jesse, and says, hey, you have some sons. I think the Lord's calling them to be king. Jesse brings about all his sons, except for David first, because they look like they would be kings. They were big in stature, and they may have been smarter. But 1 Samuel 16:7 says, do not look at the appearance. But the Lord said to Samuel, do not look at his appearance or at his physical stature, because I have refused him. He was talking about only David's son, Jesse's sons. For the Lord does not see as man sees, for man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. And isn't that good? That's good to know that it is not always about what we see, but it's about what God sees. And he doesn't always look at the outward appearance, because sometimes we are swayed by what we see outwardly, but he's looking at the heart. So many times we may make decisions based off of what we see, not what he sees. In verse, let's see, what is this? Down towards 1 Samuel 16, I think around verse 13, it says, and the Lord said, arise, anoint him, for this is the one. He had brought David. David was out with the sheep. He says, the Lord, this is the one that you should, this is the one. Anoint him, this is the one. In 13 it says, then Samuel took the horn of the oil and anointed him in the midst of his brothers, and the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward. And so David was anointed to be king on this day. And what did David do the next day, or after this? He went back to the king. Some may say, that doesn't seem right. Why didn't he just become king right then? Or why didn't he just overthrow Saul? And the process didn't seem like it was the right process. And David might have been like, oh, well, that was nice, and those nice words, but now I'm going back to my regular job, doing what I regularly do. Process brings about the promise. David plays the harp for Saul. So there are several things that David has to go through after he's anointed. And so he plays the harp for Saul, and the evil spirit leaves him. That's 1 Samuel 16, 14 through 13. David slays Goliath. That's 1 Samuel 17, 32 through 50. Saul attempts to kill David by sending him to war with the Philistines, against the Philistines, 1 Samuel 18. And I think at some point around this time, I'm sure David is thinking, when will this happen? You know, I was anointed to be king. I don't know how many years now had the such task, but it's not happening. And this doesn't seem right. Well, I'm not trusting what Samuel said several years ago. Saul attempts to have David assassinated by his servants in Jonathan, 1 Samuel 19. Jonathan tells David about his father's plans. And I'm sure at this point David is wondering, what happened? I was anointed to be king, and now the king is trying to assassinate me. What is going on? David runs from Saul and hides in a cave. And I'm sure at that point David is really thinking, man, Samuel really was off the mark. I mean, he was really in the flesh, and this is not panning out the way I thought it would pan out. Or it doesn't look the way I thought it would look. But David doesn't get bitter, he gets better. He has an opportunity to kill Saul twice, and he spares him. And if David had gotten bitter, I'm sure he would have been like, I'm right in my, wanting to kill him. I had the opportunity. I could have. He tried to assassinate me. He sent me to battle and tried to get me killed. I'm sure I would have been justified in killing him. And then I would have become king, and I would have taken matters into my own hand. Right? We would, if the story panned out right there like that, we would have said, okay, that makes sense. Because Saul was after him, he was trying to kill him, he was defending himself. But David didn't get bitter, he got better in the process. He trusted the process. And there were many songs that David felt betrayed and wondered where the Lord was and what was going on, but he trusted the process. David waited some 15 plus years from the time that he was anointed king to the time that he actually fulfilled that promise of being king. Some 15 plus years. And then there was another 7 years before David was anointed king over all of Israel. Additional 7 years. Are we trusting the process? Are we willing and able to say, hey, no matter what it takes, no matter what's going on, no matter what the world says or what the world system is doing, I am standing the fight, I'm standing the game, and I'm trusting the process that God is bringing me through to bring about his promise. Are we doing that, or are we saying, I give up, I don't have hope, I've thrown in the towel, I'm just here? We're standing the fight. We're going to trust the process. Let's look at Joshua chapter 6. Talks about the walls of Jericho. If you shortcut the process, you may short-circuit the results or the product. So let's look at Joshua. So now Jericho, Joshua chapter 6, it says, now Jericho was securely shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out and none came in. So Jericho was tight. No one was leaving, no one was going in and out because they realized the children of Israel was around and they were beating up some enemies, and they was like, hey, we need to protect ourselves, we're going to stay in, we're not going to move, we're not going to leave, we're not going to give them an opportunity to come and destroy us. And the Lord said to Joshua, see, I have given Jericho into your hand, its king and the mighty men of valor. You shall march around the city, all of you men of war, you shall go all around the city once. This you shall do 6 days. And 7 priests shall bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark. But the 7th day you shall march around the city 7 times, and the priests shall blow the trumpets. And on the 7th time the priests shall blow the trumpets. It shall come to pass that when they make the loud blast with the ram's horn, and when you hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout, and the wall of the city will fall down flat, and the people shall go up every man straight before him. trust the process. Now, I'm sure the children of Israel was wondering, what's going on here? This is different. We hadn't seen this before. You know, and maybe on day one, it's all right, we'll do day one, we'll see what happens, and the wall doesn't change. It's like, well, all right, so we did it that one day, and then the next day, they come back and they walk around, they see no movement in the wall. How many of you were giving up on day two and said, all right, this is not working, I'm out of here? Day three comes around, they walk around again, nothing happens. Day 4, day 5, and day 6, and we're saying, I don't trust this process. This doesn't look like anything that has happened before. I don't know about this, God. I missed the mark. I'm going to go back and turn around and go home. It's not working. You know what we do sometimes? No, okay. I don't mean for you to be somber, you guys look at those. I can't see your faces anyway. So you're looking sad, but it's like, well, I can't see your faces. But isn't that what happens? You know, after year 6, 5, 10, you're like, man, this is not working out for me. I must have missed the mark. I must have misheard. The prophecies are not coming to pass. This is more difficult than I thought, and I'm not trusting the process. I'm not learning karate at all. I'm being used and abused by Mr. VIP. I'm not trusting the process. What if the children of Israel did turn around on day 6 and say, hey, look, man, this wall hasn't changed at all. And then on day 7, I'm not sure how big the city was. I'm sure it's a pretty good-sized city. It's a city. You had to walk around it 7 times. So not just the one time every day for the 6 days, and on the 7th day you do 7 times. And I'm sure on that 7th day somebody's saying, hey, look, what are we doing wasting our time walking around this wall? Nothing has happened. Nothing's changed. I don't see a brick moving. I don't see the foundation shifting. I don't see anything that's happening. And some would say, you guys are crazy. You're doing the same thing, getting the same results every day. Isn't that what we say? But trust the process. God had it in their plan. He gave them, he told them what to do, and he told them the process. And if they had done anything different, it would have short-circuited the results. Maybe the wall wouldn't have fell down. And maybe they would have said, we shortcut and we did only 3 times on the 7th day and nothing happened, so we gave up and we turned back around. And so what will happen when the enemy knows you've done that against God's word? Because now you're not trusting God and you're not believing him. So the next time God tells you something, then you're going to second guess what he's telling you. You're going to say, well, last time it didn't work out the way I thought, but you forget that you didn't do what God told you to do exactly the way he told you to do it. And so the enemy says, it's going to be the same way like it was last time. He throws it at you. And then you start to doubt again. And then eventually you just don't even try. When the Lord tells you, you say, I've been down that road, I'm not doing that again. I'm not going to witness to my family. I've tried that several times. It's not working. So I persecuted the church of God. But by the grace of God, I am what I am. And his grace to me is with no effect without his grace. Without his grace, I have no effect. No, I work harder than all of them. So then this is him working. So he said, it requires his grace. But then I work harder than everyone, yet not I, but the grace of God that was within me. He's doing his part, God is doing his part. And then we will be transformed. Sanctification will happen. Stay in the fight, trust the process. We're not almost done. Yeah, we're almost done. We're going to look at Proverbs. So Proverbs 3, 5 through 12 is a lot. I'm just going to Trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It will be health to your flesh and strength to your bones. That's good. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It will be health to your flesh and strength to your bones. Honor the Lord with your possessions and your first fruits of your increase. So your barns will be filled with plenty, and your vats will overflow with new wine. Son, do not despise the chastening or the discipline of the Lord, nor detest his correction. For whom the Lord loves, he corrects, just as the Father of the Son, in whom he delights. Lean not to your own understanding. So, Daniel's son, there's a scene where, Daniel had cleaned the cars, and waxed on and waxed off the cars. They had several antique vehicles. I'm trying to draw a picture. Some of them may come back. It's been a while, I know. And then he had a deck, or wood deck, that he had to sand, and he had these sand buffers that he used. And Daniel was feeling, you could tell at the end of all this, he was in pain, and he felt like, oh gosh, this is hurting me. He did not understand what was going on. It was like, what is it? What? And towards the end of that scene when he was doing the sanding of the deck, he kind of leaves and was like, I'm just wasting my time here. You can tell he didn't say it, what he was thinking. So then he came back the next day, and then he had to paint the fencing around the house. And so he did the outside. You can tell he told him certain way to do it. And he did that, and he thought he was done. He goes to him and said, I'm done painting. He said, did you do the other side? And he's like, oh God, come on, I got to do the other side. So he goes and paints the other side. And then he has he kind of like, man, I'm fed up with this. This just isn't, you're supposed to be teaching me karate, and you're just using me as a slave, basically. And Mr. Miyagi, at that point, kind of shows him, hey, what you've been doing is part of this process that I'm teaching you. And so he goes through certain moves, and you can tell in Daniel's face that he was amazed and kind of connected now that, oh, you were training me all along. This is what was going on. And so how many times when you look back over things, you're like, man, you know what, Lord, you were teaching me something in that. At that moment, it hurt. I didn't see it. It hurt. It was painful. But I can look back on that time and say, man, you were really showing me something. You were changing me. And it was part of the process to get me here. Yeah. So the 3 lessons that in the movie that I want you to take away. One, that everything isn't always as it seems. There's a process, everything isn't always as it seems. And as minuscule as painting or sanding or, buffing a car, and you would say, man, this is, what am I doing? And David could have said, man, I was anointed to be king, and now I'm going back with these sheep. What's going on here? Everything isn't always as it seems. And you may have to go through some things, you may have to do whatever. You may know you're anointed to do whatever you're called to do, but then the Lord may tell you, hey, go clean those bathrooms. Even with your anointed self, go anoint those toilets. Leave that. It's the process. Sometimes our circumstances take us to places we really don't want to be. That can be overwhelming and discouraging. Mr. Miyagi often says everything isn't always as it seems to Daniel. Daniel's son becomes frustrated because he thinks Mr. Miyagi is using him. But then, secondly, but in reality, he was preparing him for something bigger. That's the second lesson. You are being prepared for something bigger. And we are corporately are being prepared for something bigger, but you individually are being prepared for something bigger as well. So David was being prepared to be king, and the children of Israel were being prepared to take the promised land. They needed to trust God in that process. Just as Mr. Miyagi was preparing Daniel to fight in the tournament, God is preparing you for something bigger. Daniel needed to learn karate, and he knew in order to learn, he must trust Mr. Miyagi that he knew what he was doing. We too must trust our sensei, our master. We must trust and know what he is doing. We must not lean to our own understanding. And in that process, they become good friends, right? Such as we should become. And in that process, the third thing is never fight evil with evil, fight evil with good. No matter what the Cobra Kai guys did or threw at Daniel, Mr. Miyagi always wanted him to do the right thing, be fair in that process. Your enemies, they cause you doubt, fear, and discouragement. They are like nothing more for you to give up. But we must trust the process. We can't give up the fight. We can't throw in the towel. God has something bigger in store for you individually, and he has it in store for us corporately. So we must believe and trust that he knows what he's doing, and he's working it out in the end. Amen? Amen. May you stand to your feet. I do want, I want to encourage Cornerstone to trust the process, to not to give up or to give in or to give to your own desires or to see it and see things in the flesh and not in the spirit, and not really pick up what the Lord is doing in your life individually, but as a body corporately. And though it may be few in number, God can do whatever he wants with whoever he wants. We can take this city with 5, 10, 20 people, it doesn't matter. And even though the goals may seem lofty, you may say, oh, we need more people, we can't do this all by ourselves. The Lord is saying, I'm with you. And that's all we need. He don't need anyone but the Lord on our side. Really, that's it. That's all we need is him. And he's going to do everything he needs to do in us so that we can win whoever we need to win to Christ and to Cornerstone, to the ministry, to the world. He can do that. Sometimes I have to remind myself, all we need is him. That's all we need. With God on our side, who can be against us? God is for us. Who can be against us? Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we just thank you. We thank you for your grace and your mercy and your love that you graciously bestow on us. We just thank you for massaging our hearts and that we receive what you're teaching us today, and that we will be transformed and renewed in our minds, and that we will be sanctified, that we will work alongside what you're doing in us, Lord God, that we will trust the process that you're taking us through, that we will not give up. Year after year, it may seem like nothing's changing, but we're believing and trusting in you, Lord God. We just thank you and we bless you. In Jesus' name. Timothy, with this mission, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. Go in peace. God bless you.